Without really realising it, I've been shooting on the Canon AE-1 program ever since I first started experimenting with film photography. From making those early mistakes right up to fully understanding it and taking photos I've been really happy with. This has always been my film camera of choice. I've dabbled in other models like the Pentax K1000, the Olympus OM1 and some older Yashica stuff, but I always find myself coming back to the AE-1, and when I think about it, it's because the learning curve to use it is actually really comfortable and easy to get used to. You just don't need to know a lot to start getting some really nice results.
A lot of this comes down to how easy the camera is to use from the get-go. There's 3 main controls at your fingertips: shutter speed, aperture and focus. But if you're new to the format, you can dial the shutter and aperture to program mode and let the camera do everything for you. Then it's just a simple case of focusing the camera and firing off rolls and rolls of film until your wallet begs you to stop. And those auto-exposed results are really good. I remember shooting these photos in program mode, and the AE-1 did a good job at keeping everything where it needed to be. Exposure was well handled, and there isn't much I would really change about these photos. What's perfect about the AE-1 program is you can evolve your shooting with it. Once you've got a good understanding of the exposure triangle, you can start using the camera in full manual mode or shutter priority and start deciding your own desired outcome for the photos.
This is what makes the AE-1 such a beautiful camera to learn and grow with, is because you can let it hold your hand as much as you like, but once you trail it off into manual mode, it will let you do that no problems at all, and you won't feel like you've outgrown the camera.
It wouldn't be fair to not talk about the looks of the AE-1. Let's face it, this isn't a standout beauty like a Leica, but the silver and black colourway I have here is a typically classic look of an older film camera. It's pragmatic without being ugly, and that's a good thing. It's a combination of metal and plastic with a good solid feeling of heft to it. This thing feels built to last, and if this specific one is anything to go off, they seem to hold up exceedingly well after around 40 years of use. Loading film is a pretty simple affair, which is nice. Pop the back open, feed the roll into the spool on the right, line the holes up, fire the shutter to ensure it's caught correctly, then close the back and wind it on. If you're new to film, this part can feel quite tricky, but you'll get used to it pretty quickly, and you'll soon learn the correct feel of when the film is correctly loaded. It might not win any awards for its looks, but I'm a fan of the overall vibe of the AE-1. The results from the AE-1 are pretty fantastic overall. When you get the focus on point and the exposure just right, the images simply come out beautiful. Playing with different film stocks is a really interesting and fun way to get different colour palettes too, and as cliche as it is, slowing down to ensure you're getting the best shot possible because you have a limited amount of photos to take is a real thing. Even on those photos where you misfocus or you haven't exposed it quite right, still have that look about them that almost makes you forgive all of those missed shots. It teaches you to be more careful and thoughtful the next time you decide to go out shooting. I've mentioned this a few times before, but whenever I shoot with a film camera, it really does have a certain feel and vibe to it that mobile phones and even modern digital cameras just can't get.
It's worth keeping in mind that any results from a 35mm camera are heavily tied to the style of film that you're using. A lot of the character and tone you're seeing in these images is pretty much all tied to the style of film I was using at that time. After all, the camera is just a box that holds the film, so don't feel like you can't get these results without that camera, because you really can.
The AE-1 uses the Canon FD mount for lenses, and you really are spoilt for choice when it comes to the variety and price that they go for. There's a good array of primes rocking an f1.4 aperture, there's a huge amount of zooms, and best of all, most of them will cost you around £50 to £100. An added benefit to investing in these types of lenses too is they're all designed to cover full frame, so if you're shooting pretty much with any mirrorless system as your day-to-day camera, then you can adapt all of this old glass to use on that camera, which is just awesome. It means you're getting double value for your money, as long as you can cope without having autofocus.
I'd be confident to recommend the Canon AE-1 program to anyone that wants to try their hand at film photography. It's easy to use and to grow your understanding with, there's loads of lenses and they're pretty well priced, and it's definitely built to last. To be honest, there just isn't much here to not like. Due to the fickle rise and fall in interest in film photography, prices are all over the place for this camera, but if you scour eBay, you're bound to pick one up with the kit lens, which is a 50mm 1.8 for about £100 to £150, which isn't really too bad. To round off, I just wanted to say it's kind of a funny one to dance around, but sometimes it feels like you're one coffee and a beanie hat off becoming an internet cliche. But there is a true romance in shooting film photography that you just can't get with digital, and I would say that the Canon AE-1 program or any of the AE-1 series is a perfect gateway drug into the world of film photography. And there we have it, I finally reviewed the Canon AE-1 program, a camera that has appeared on this channel many times before, and I know a lot of you have been asking for it, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was somewhat worth that longish wait. That rounds off this review though. If there's another camera that you think I should take a look at, then I'm always willing to hear those, so let me know in the comments below. Do pop a like if you enjoyed it, pop a subscribe if you thought it was cool, that helps me out a lot, and I will see you all in the next one.